Hello students, in today's lecture we will discuss the next part of the chapter Thinking Out of the Box, Lateral Thinking Adapted. Students, yesterday we discussed that in this chapter there are three characters: an unlucky farmer, his young daughter, and a village moneylender. And as we have already discussed in our previous lecture, that the money lender of the village, who was not good looking, he liked the beautiful daughter of the farmer. So he suggested a bargain to the farmer. He told him that he would write off the loan or the debt if he could marry the farmer's daughter. So both the farmer and his daughter both are shocked by the proposal. So the clever moneylender suggested that only the luck should decide the matter. So he tells them about the bargain. He told the father and the daughter that he would put a black and a white pebble into an empty money bag. Then the girl would have to pick one pebble or one small stone from the bag. If she picked the black pebble, she would become his wife, and her father's debt would be written off. But if his daughter picks the white pebble, she need not marry him, and the father's debt would still be written off. But if she refused to pick a pebble, her father would be thrown into jail. So he puts three kinds of conditions before the farmer and his daughter, and when he puts the same colored, black colored pebbles into the money bag, then the girl puts her hand into that bag and drew out a pebble. Then she knowingly throws that pebble onto the pebble strewn path where there were so many pebbles lying together. So students, let us now begin with the next part of the story. The girl admitted that she had done a wrong thing, but she said that if they looked into the bag for the one that is left, they would be able to tell which pebble she had picked. When the girl throws down the pebble on the path where there were so many pebbles lying together, then the girl admits that she has done a wrong thing, but she says to them that if they look into the bag for the pebble that is left in it, then they would be able to tell which pebble she had picked. Since the remaining pebble is black, it would be assumed that she picked the white one. So, according to his second condition, according to the condition put by the money lender before the farmer and his daughter, the second condition was if the girl picks up the white colored pebble, she need not marry him, and the father's debt would still be written off. So, since the remaining pebble is black, it should be assumed that she picked the white colored pebble, and since the moneylender dared not admit his dishonesty, the girl may change an impossible situation into an advantageous one. So the moneylender was not dared that he admit his dishonesty, so he did not admit that he has done an act of dishonesty. So the girl changed the impossible situation into an advantageous one. Thus, this story teaches us a lesson The lesson is that the most complex problems to which we can't solve do have a solution. It is only that we do not attempt to think in that direction. It teaches us to think out of the box or think literally. Sometimes we think that the problem which we face don't have doesn't have any solution, but it is only because we do not attempt to think in that direction. We don't want to think about the solution of that problem. So the lesson teaches us a lesson that even the most difficult problems have solutions. Lateral thinking is creative or non-linear thinking. It is thinking differently. It is doing something that might be novel and unconventional in nature. There is another story that illustrates the use of lateral thinking. In this chapter, there is another story which gives us an idea about the lateral or creative or unconventional thinking. Let us discuss this story too. A millionaire named Thomas walked into a popular bank in the middle of New York City. He requested a loan officer for a small sum of money, $5,000. According to this story, there was a millionaire named Thomas. Once he walked into a famous bank in the middle of New York City. There, he requested to the loan officer for a small sum of money, which was $5,000. The bank officer asked for security. He offered his brand new Ferrari car as security. Thomas left the bank with $5,000, and the bank employee took Thomas' keys and drove the brand new Ferrari down into the bank's underground garage. So when the millionaire named Thomas asked the loan officer for a small amount of money, the bank officer or the loan officer asked him for the security. So Thomas offered him his brand new Ferrari car as a security. Then he left that bank with $5,000, and the bank employee took Thomas' keys of Ferrari car and drove the brand new Ferrari down into the bank's underground garage. He assumed Thomas that it would be perfectly safe there. After 2 weeks, Thomas returned to New York and returned the borrowed $5,000 plus the interest. So, after 2 weeks, Thomas returned to the same bank from where he borrowed a small amount of money. He returned that borrowed amount plus the interest to the loan officer. They had found out that he was one of the wealthiest men in America. The loan officer or the bank employees found out that Thomas was one of the wealthiest or one of the richest men in America. The bank wanted to know why he had the need to borrow $5,000. They asked him that why he had borrowed $5,000. Thomas smiled, picked up the keys from the counter, and said if they could tell him another way, he could have parked his new Ferrari in the middle of New York for 2 weeks for just $115 and still get it back in top condition. So, on hearing their question, Thomas smiled and he picked up the keys of his Ferrari from the counter of the loan officer and said that if they could tell him another way in which he could have parked his new Ferrari car for 2 weeks in just $115 and take it back in a very good condition, in top condition. After saying this, Thomas walked out of the door And the loan officer smiled a bigger smile by hearing his reply. So, De Bono explains that lateral thinking, to which we can also say the creative thinking or to think in a different way, it is concerned not with playing with the existing pieces, but it is concerned with seeking to change those very pieces. It is concerned with the perception part of thinking. So, to sum up, we can say that this chapter is based on the theme that even the complicated problems, even the complex problems, can be solved by lateral, to which we can also say creative or unconventional thinking. There is no need to solve difficult problems by logical methods. So, students, today we have completed our chapter. Tomorrow we will continue with our next lecture. Thank you. Thank you very much.